Hi, this is Dominique again. Um, First I'd like to give thanks to my spiritual family for allowing me to be here. Divine Source for allowing me to be here. The first two videos I made were supposed to be, well, they were supposed to be about my spiritual journey, but I just came from a live video from another YouTuber that I follow or subscribe to, and I guess it encouraged me to touch base on some things that um that isn't easy for most melanated people to just come out and talk about. I actually wanted my channel to be, all spiritual in my journey, but since I'm still on it and still learning myself, I can't really, I can, but to do it as I go when I'm still trying to figure it out, it kind of just makes me feel like I'm stuck on a median. But anywho, so I found myself crying today. I don't know why. I have no idea why. And my babies are running around the house, jumping, playing, and laughing, and calling my name, talking to me, and I have tears and snot running down my face, and I have no idea what is wrong. I don't know if it's this eclipse energy, or if it's just me working out my inner issues, but I was trying to calm myself down, asking myself, are you okay? And I honestly don't know what that means anymore. I do, but I don't. But anywho, I tried not to get distracted on Facebook and get sucked in to the emotions of Facebook, because the media can lie. And that's one thing that we're still dealing with today is the media lying, fake news, fake headlines, fake pictures from Google, Pinterest, or wherever they get it from. But I go down my timeline, and I've shared a few of these posts too, because they do make sense and they do need to be put out there and made aware of, but nobody actually really gets into the nitty gritty of talking about it. And it's kind of hard to touch base on these things in a comment section, because there's no tone to the conversation, and then somewhere in between the comment section conversation, the conversation gets lost trying to respond to somebody else's earlier response, and it's counterproductive. You don't get anywhere. I've tried it before and it doesn't work. Arguing in a comment section doesn't work. But I go down my timeline, and of course, all the melanated people in my friends list, well, most of them, the ones who do share and speak about it, they're upset and they're frustrated and they're angry, and me being as empathetic as I am, I can feel their pain. Even when I see I try not to watch the news, because I know I get emotionally sucked in, and then I start crying, and I'm not even there at the scene, but I'm crying anyway. And excuse me. But I'm crying anyway, so I try not to watch the news anymore. But not watching the news doesn't make it less true that it's happening. It doesn't make the social injustices disappear. Just like people all up and down my timeline, just because we don't speak about it doesn't mean it's not happening. If a tree falls and you're not there to hear it fall, does it make a sound? Yes, it did make a sound. You just weren't there to hear the vibrations. But the emotions of, well, my people, it's all part of propaganda. It is all part of propaganda. And, shoot, I may lose people behind this video because nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to hear, but it's all propaganda. The fake news, the fake media, is to make or just, it is to make the melanated people intentionally angry. It is to make them, it's to pull on their heartstrings. I don't know what energies or frequencies they see when a mass group of melanated people get upset or excited, but they're using it against us. They are taking our energy and using it against us, so that while we're not looking and paying attention, they're doing other shit behind the curtain. Just like on Wizard of Oz. The man behind the curtain. Everybody was so spooked about who the Wizard of Oz was. And then at the end of the movie, it's just the man behind the curtain. Not even the big head in the sky or at Emerald City or whatever. I only seen the movie once. But the brainwashing of the Wizard of Oz effect for the man behind the curtain. Here's one thing that most people, most people are not going to like. It's not about race, but it is about race. What a lot of melanated people don't understand is that their DNA is just not any ordinary DNA. What melanated people need to understand is that the scientists of today, of this generation, of this year, of this era, know this. They know this. They know we're extraordinary. We're not just ordinary. Okay? In other words, i.e. white people. Yes, I said it. White people. We do have our genetics are different. I don't think I need to list all the ways that we are different, but just a few things, the few obvious things. We have a relationship with the sun. We age different. Our wrinkles, for some, depending on how well you take care of yourself, your wrinkles don't come in as early or, as fast as. It takes longer for us to turn into raisins in the sun. It takes longer. One thing I have also heard is, the darker your melanin, the darker your pigmentation, the closer you are to nature, so to speak. And if I'm saying anything wrong, or not wrong, but if I'm saying anything you don't agree with or anything you can fill in the gaps or touch base on, by all means, put it in the comments, respond. If what I'm saying is making sense to you, go ahead and hit the like button, if you please. If you would please. And, or subscribe. Whatever you prefer. And then two, even after the videos circulated around as far as the protests go, that it wasn't the melanated people of BLM who were starting the looting. It was actually white people starting this mess. According to the videos that I've seen, they were starting this. They've been starting it since the beginning. Since we started first marching, or our people first started marching, they start the looting. Some burn down their own businesses to collect the insurance, and then there were others who tore down the melanated communities, and insurance companies made it impossible for them to collect their insurance. The melanated people. I don't like to say black because black does not refer to melanin. It derives from a word that means blank, or black, pale, white. It's blank. There's no smudge. It's just blank. So I'm trying to change the way I speak and the words I use, because good thing what people do know today is that our language is not ours. It's not. The English language is a language made up of all languages. They pull root words, suffixes, and prefixes from other cultures, and then it's like they strategically smash the words together in a counterproductive way, or in a way that kills the spirit, or in a way that brainwashes the mind or triggers the mind, whether it be emotionally, mentally, physically, or sexually, or socially. For a while, I didn't. For a while when this was after, my family and I had stopped going to church, and I decided, I didn't trust the Bible. It didn't make sense to me, because even though I had a children's Bible of my own that I did understand, what I didn't understand is why all the other holy Bibles, the adult versions of the Bibles, each Bible, because it was only one time I compared the Bibles, but one time, it was probably one time that I was able to actually visually see where the scriptures were written different, and I didn't understand. So I just, I'm like, well, F it. I'm not going to read the Bible, because for one, I don't understand what it's saying. And then two, I didn't see the point in reading a Bible that was handed down to our ancestors by the very people who kept them in captivity. And the thing is, why would they give us a book that would set us free, or set them free, if the whole point was to keep them enslaved? And it didn't make sense to me. And then two, the pastors. After a while, I didn't trust the pastors because, and I'm not going to say specifically what, but I mean, you witness firsthand how those pastors can be. Some of the pastors do prey on young girls. When after church service, when everybody's circulating around and shaking hands and meeting up, and church service is over and everybody's giving out those godly hugs, quote unquote, and the pastor, he don't do much. He may not do nothing big or obvious, but they try to get their little feel, or they slick talking. And yes, they do that. They're out there. They're around. Just because you ain't seen it or it ain't happening to you don't mean it's not happening. Okay, there goes that tree again falling that nobody witnessed falling in the forest. And then, you got those church folks who just sit up there and talk about everybody and talk about each other. This was only about 12 years ago, my last church visit, but as I got older, or as you get older, for those of you who do, wake up or, have your eyes open and have your mind cracked to what's going on around you, you realize, wow, that's what that was. And it makes no sense until, you get to a point to where you begin to understand that the pastors are in on it too. The social injustices, even the spiritual injustices, because the pastors don't tell you about the parts of the Bible that talk about you. They don't tell you that you are the quote unquote Israelites in the Bible. And that's probably not even who you are, but you are the people, you are the jewels of the world. That you are the you are the divine beings. And they put that in the Bible. They put it in the Bible. They'll tell you, the Bible tells you. You just read the Bible and, understand what it's actually saying, and how it references to what's going on in the real world. And you'll find a lot of things. I don't read the Bible. I haven't read all of the Bible, but there's another YouTuber that I did subscribe to. I don't watch his channel no more, but he touched base on the perversions of the Bible. I didn't, that's one of the reasons why I didn't, stick around with his channel long, because the Bible couldn't just be it for me, and that's okay. What resonates with you is okay. It's perfectly fine, because it needs to resonate with you. Just like I needed something more than the Bible to resonate with me, because for a second I did come back to the Bible and I wanted to learn it and know what it was talking about. And then as I grew distant away from it again, I decided that I would just, keep the Bible around as a decipher, or, use it as a, as somewhat of a clue book, because everything in the Bible and everything in all the other Um, all the other Bibles, or the other books like, Torah and Quran. I mean, there are bits and pieces of the Bible, you know, of there are bits and pieces of the writings on the wall in Africa. And even, today they probably spin it in a way that we'll never understand, or, keeping that divine knowledge hidden from us because of what we can do with it, of what we will do with it when we figure out that everything they've been hiding from us is ours. It belongs to us. It belongs to you. That Nazi symbol that you see on, the neo-Nazis or whatever, on the skinheads that, people call them, that is your symbol. That's your symbol. The 666 Baphomet symbol that we have been tricked and beaten into fearing, that is your energy too. That's your symbol. Melanated people, that is your symbol. Like the symbols that we would turn our noses up at, or try to stay away from, or we don't give it no attention or energy because of the people that's wearing them today. But we used them. We used to use them. And over the last 2,000 years, it has been used against us as a tool of fear, to make us afraid, as a tool of anger to get us angry. Like, they do all this stuff on purpose. And what's frustrating, not personally frustrating, but what's frustrating emotionally, like, on a empathetic level, it's frustrating is because as I would, do research, just looking it up and searching for answers and filling in blanks, you do notice the intentional pattern, and it's like nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. And then what's even more frustrating, empathetically, is that this Juneteenth holiday, because a lot of us are quick to celebrate it and don't even realize, or don't even, realize, or don't even notice, or whatever word, notice, realize, acknowledge, we are not emancipated. In their eyes, we are not emancipated. We are not free. If the melanated people in this country, even if they even attempted to gather up and try to leave, do you really think they would let us leave? I mean, seriously. For those of you who, if you've seen Selma, Lord Selma, I mean, I know it's just a movie. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they didn't put a twist on it and left some key things out. But I'm willing to bet that if we all gathered up together, if we all made a unanimous decision to leave the country together, They would not let us leave. They won't let us leave. And it has nothing to do with, physical revenge. It has nothing to do with us going back to our country and then coming back with the army. It has nothing to do with the physical. It's the spiritual. It is the spiritual. It's the energies on this plane that they've managed to get their hands on and use as a tool for fear mongering and pulling heartstrings of melanated people, because we control the energies on the plane. That's to my understanding, to my resonation. We control the energies on this plane. They know it. They know that we are the dominant race. And so by controlling our emotions, by trapping us in their trickery and their false news and their fake death cases, and then I'm pretty sure even their, the fake melanated on melanated crimes. I wouldn't be surprised if a majority of those were fake. Because if they can control our emotions to feed into the energy that keeps them on top, they will stay on top. But things are starting to slowly but surely speed up. And then things are starting to quickly but slowly slow down. It's weird. I don't know why. I don't know why that makes sense to me, but I did want this YouTube channel to be about my journey, but like, let's just be real, because even when I do talk about this stuff to some people, just hearing their responses, you can tell when somebody's not ready to hear it or not ready for that conversation, and you can't force people to have a conversation that they're not willing to be open to. So it's like, when I want to say certain things to certain topics, on certain topics, and then I don't, so I have nowhere to put it, I'm going to put it into this video, because as much as I would like my channel to be all experience and lessons and learning, and there's going to be that too, but we mixing some of this into there, because let's cut the bullshit. I can't act like that there's this it is what it is, at least not fully. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. What it is. It is what it is. But at the same time, there's this energy that comes up that wants to regurgitate out of my mouth, F that. Yeah, it's what it is, but it is what it is. But nah, fuck that. One of those moments. I don't know if y'all can hear my baby snoring. Well, she's snoring loud. Anyway, a lot of people don't like to hear the truth. The truth is scary. It is. But it's the truth. You know, nobody, I mean, if somebody's going to be honest and they know that the truth isn't going to be pretty, you can't make, you know, they don't make promises of the truth being favored at the moment. Because the truth hurts. The truth hurts. You know, it hurts. But it's the truth. Sometimes the truth has to hurt. Because when it hurts, there's no denying. There's no denying. And I was just saying earlier to myself, like, you know, ignorance is fucking bliss. It is fucking bliss because to the people who don't know, who have no idea, well, ignorance is bliss. And to the protesters, it's like, you know, I watch the videos that get shared and swapped around on my timeline, on my news feed. And even I, you know, shared a couple because I did, you know, I resonated with what they had to say because, you know, damn it, I hear you. Shoot. Man, if I don't hear you, because for the past couple years, with all the other stuff going on, I can barely remember which major issues was going on 2 years ago, 2 and 3 years ago, but my heart was breaking then, like, and I would literally sit there watching the effed up videos, you know, telling myself, like, this can't be it. This can't just be it, like. And then, you know, they brought me around back to the Bible. Like, that can't just be it. Like, you F up, you die, you go to hell. Like, no. That can't be. Ain't no way. That cannot be it. Not when nature shows us every year, every spring, that the flowers and the trees come back to bloom. Nature shows us every spring, that the squirrels come back for their acorns. Every winter, every fall, the squirrels bury those same acorns, those similar acorns. Every spring, the trees and leaves on the trees go back. Every fall, the orange, brown, and red leaves fall. Every winter, the tree is naked. Every spring, everything grows back. And every summer, the cycle has been going on in our faces. Melanated people are energetic beings with power. They are live. They are a live, active power source. And the powers that be know this. And I'm not talking about your president, or Congress, or your mayors. And I'm not even talking about it goes farther. It goes beyond the Pope and the Queen of England. It's whoever's pulling their strings. And then that knowledge trickles down their pyramid and, you know, the select few who know. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't know that. And then, a lot of people deny it, or they turn a blind eye to it, or they shut it down because that's not the answer they were looking for. It was a guy on Facebook who asked, I can't remember what his question was, but I commented on it. And I'm like, well, genetics, melanin, that's what makes us different. Like, that's what separates us. And he was like, nope, that's not the answer I was looking for. It's like, well, what answer were you looking for? Because there's 1,000 answers that have to do with us as to why the world feels like they need to hate us. The parts of the world that aren't melanated, somebody is spitting in their ear that we are the lowest class of people on this planet, that we are the demonic beasts of the planet, which they got that part right. I mean, when they say it like that, it's scary as shit. Hell yeah, you scare the mess out of me. When I saw my first time seeing The Exorcist, yeah, it spooked the shit out of me. But now that I'm older and I'm understanding things more, and you look into your history a little bit more, and you see these symbols that are being used today as an oppression tool, and you come to realize that those symbols, you have nothing to fear of those symbols, because those energies belong to you. They were used to communicate with the cosmos, communicate with nature, communicate with the universe. They were used energetically. Sending out vibrations and frequencies, bringing back that harmonic karma, that harmonic karmic energy. I don't even know where to begin to start to wake up people that I'm friends with on Facebook, the ones that I know, the ones that I see that can use a good sit down and a good conversation. Because some of them, if when they share something, and then you hop on in their comment box, and it's not obligated. It's not a bad thing that you don't get a response, or if they respond in a defensive way because they don't like what you're saying or what they're reading or hearing, and it doesn't make sense to them yet. And so a lot of that's an issue too, wanting to destroy something you don't understand. And it's easy to fall into that. It's easy to fall into that state of mind where you see something that scares the shit out of you, so you have to get rid of it. You gotta snuff it out. You gotta put it out. You gotta execute it. So, don't get me wrong, there's a couple people on my timeline where, I feel like, shoot, we can have a good old long conversation about this and pick each other's brain and see what he or she knows, but the rest of them, you get a lot of answers like, I don't know anything about that, I'm just posting it for thoughts, or all I know is, or they just don't respond to you. All of which is equally fine. It's okay. But it's just that when you're somebody who knows, it's getting late. What time is it? 1:23. Well, I would love to stay up all night and talk about these things. I just wanted to make this first because this is one of the topics that I was really wanted to get off my chest. I mean, it's one thing when you talk about it among people who know what you're talking about and who resonate with what you're talking about, and they can, contribute to the conversation and teach you something new in the process. That's one thing. That's the great thing. But it's only like two to three needles in a haystack of people who don't know. And it's all good and well to collab and talk and exchange information and knowledge with somebody who does know, but then when you get around people who don't know and the urge to just shout it to the heavens that they don't have to believe the crap that society is feeding them because it's not true. What they say about you is not true. How they feel about you is indoctrinated. To explain to somebody like, yeah, what is written in the Bible is partially true, but it may or may not be from the white man's perspective. And it's not like we were, given, in African etymology book for dummies, or not to say it like that, but it's not like we were given, any instruction on getting the real knowledge of who we are and where we come from and what we were originally here, to do and what we were doing. But the Bible does point out some key things that is going on today that, what people call prophecy. That's another thing. Crap, I know I said I was going to get off. But that's another thing. The Simpsons are not making predictions. They're not making predictions. It's propaganda, and they're putting it in a cartoon, and then they're selling it back to you. It's not prophecy. They're pretty much basically telling you what they're going to do. So they're preparing you for the bullshit that they're pulling. They prepare you for the shit that they pull off. Like the coronavirus. I mean, I wasn't out there in the world, I don't know how I only knew what I saw on the news or read on the news or on my timeline, I should say, because I don't watch TV, I don't watch the news, but like all the misdirection, and it's not prophecy, it's propaganda. They told you that the virus was going to come from China, and it came delivered in a box, like the cartoon showed. I mean, I don't know how it got here, but it was shipped here, coughed in a box, shipped the box to America. It made it to Homer Simpson's house. He opened the box, and it blew up in his face, or it blew in his face, it whooshed in his face, and he breathing it in now. And then it flashed to another clip of the people blaming the pharmacy, or demanding the pharmacy come up with a cure, and then there was misdirection about that when when the cartoon pharmacist, the black pharmacist, or the melanated pharmacist on The Simpsons, told him to rest, and I can't remember anything else, but he mentioned the placebo, and the people went crazy for the placebo. They want to put the placebo, and they decided to rock the truck back and forth, and then the box on the truck fell, and it said killer bees, and it broke open and the bees broke out. It's not prophecy, it's propaganda. These are their plans. They put their plans in a cartoon, and they in plain sight, hidden in plain sight. There be times where I just be like, man, I wish something or something, kind of like a Thanos. I wish the Thanos effect would happen, where the snap of the gauntlet fingers goes off and everybody just whoop. But it doesn't work that way. Energies and vibrations don't work that way. It takes work and time. But as a people, as a melanated people, if we're all targeted the same, whether we all beefing or not, if we're all targeted the same, it sounds like we won to me. One group, one band, one sound, one crew, collectively. I mean, even in the Bible it says, or not if, but in the Bible somewhere it says that once we all come together and call out to, the Holy Father, in this case, the divine energies, once we come together and call out to the divine energies together, that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of us coming together collectively. We don't all have to meet up in one spot and come together. No, we all just need to be on the same page all over the world. And it's happening. It's happening. You can find them everywhere now. Everybody. Not everybody, but for the most part, you can find woke brothers and sisters anywhere on YouTube. Some have their own web pages, and they sell, spiritual, crystals and what you would call witchcraft or occultism, or that is ours too. That pentagram is ours. The hexagrams are ours. The sigils are ours. They belong to nature. But I'm pretty sure. I have a lot more to say about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and stop here so that I can take a breath, and I need to meditate and breathe, because even though I had no full intentions on talking about this stuff, these topics, I still found myself needing to say it to somebody who doesn't already know, because it's a need to know. It is a need to know, and it's crazy because the way a lot of melanated people talk, you can tell they are really deep in this this false belief system that, it's like, where do you even begin to, wean them out of that? I mean, there's dropping seeds, but it's if the seed, takes to the soil. And if that soil's not ready to, give a harvest, then it's just a seed in the ground. But seeds planted are just as important and essential as the seeds growing, the seeds blooming or blossoming. You still plant those seeds anyway. But yeah, just some things to get off my chest. I'm probably gonna get not a lot, but somebody not gonna like what I'm saying, what I had to say, and it don't even matter. None of that matters, because my truth is my truth. Your truth is your truth. Perspectives are always different. Perceptions are always different. Opinions are always different. How you see the world is not the same as how I see the world. And how I see the world ain't the same as how you see the world. And that's okay. I hope you all have a good night or day.